From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
You have done it, Purple Power, as everyone is talking about a forced stimulus check. The president's staff, the Congress, the Senate, the House, and also the press. In this forced stimulus check updated 2021, we talk about how everyone is talking about what we're talking about. The monthly forced stimulus check, how much you're going to get, when you're going to get it, and all the incredible details that are happening today and yesterday. Then we'll be cutting to fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. And the breaking news that's about this that's absolutely wonderful happening today. And then we'll turn to the thousands of dollars across the board that's available for you to get. It's a wonderful evening as a lot of things are majorly happening across the board. This is the channel to tune into. This is the channel with you. And this is Evenings at LALATE. Good evening, everybody. It's Evenings at LALATE. Hope you are wonderful. I am glad to be back with you tonight. I was live with you last night on that special broadcast as a lot of major developing details happen, but we have more tonight. How's the weather where you are? It's been beautiful here in Los Angeles now, but next week is supposed to really heat up. The petunias have already passed on to another life, so I hope the rest of the foliage survives next week's heat wave, but hope you are wonderful. Tell me where you're watching from and how the weather is in the live chat or in the comments of this video. In this forced stimulus check updated today, we'll go over that forced stimulus check that now everyone is talking about. The White House, the Senate, the Congress, all the Democrats are talking about because they're the ones giving it to you. The Republicans aren't talking about because they're not giving you anything. And Republican press is not talking about it either because they don't want you to know about it because it's not coming from Republicans. Democrats are heating up with that monthly stimulus check. We'll be going over how much they're envisioning, what is the latest update about where the process is going, and we'll be going over where the legislation currently is in the reconciliation process, breaking tonight in tonight's report. Then this forced stimulus check update 2021, we're going to also go over who gets it, when you get it, and all those details as well. Then we'll be cutting to fifth stimulus that heats up this fall, and that has a major breaking detail about that element, sort of an add-on. It's not money directly to you, but it's to ensure that you get your money on time. Wonderful news. And then we have thousands of dollars that's available for you to get as well. We're going to go over those details. Additionally, this is Evening at LALATE, the only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news channel. LALATE now is delivering you programs in the morning taped and in the evenings live, and the evenings taped. Before this show was Afternoons LA. Coming up after this is Evenings Crypto and then Overnights Crypto. YouTube forwarding or redirecting was not working yesterday and this morning. So let's see by the time this show broadcasts if it automatically takes you to Overnight's Crypto or not. If it doesn't, then you can manually jump into the Overnight's Crypto show right after this. But subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Hit that subscribe button right now. Next up, 1 million. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that forced stimulus check by understanding the provisions and how they work with the House bill from Jalapal and the Senate proposal from the senators. The House bill from Jalapal provides a monthly stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal provides a stimulus check from July to December. Let's look at the monthly payouts. The House bill provides $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. The Senate amount is unknown, but word on the street is that monthly amount is this. Yes, wow. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000 an individual, or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400 an individual. If you're watching the show just after 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote House or Senate and also say where you're watching from and how the weather is. But first, let's go over something in Jalapal's bill that may get modified. It's the macroeconomic factors at issue. Jalapal's bill of pandemic plus 1 year may get reduced to just 1 year because the pandemic may be viewed as over. That would result in 12 months of stimulus checks, $13,000, which over 12 months compares to this over 6 months. Oh, yes. I think you have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. And no matter how those numbers line up, viewers are still split. So tell me which one you like. House or Senate? House or Senate, tell me where you're watching from. Let's go over who the Democrats want those stimulus checks to go to. Democrats want stimulus checks to go to everyone who got their stimulus check. So if you're a single individual, $75,000 or less, Democrats want to give you a stimulus check. $150,000 or less, married couple, Democrats want to give you double the stimulus check. Household 4 or less, Democrats want to give you a forced stimulus check, just quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, forced stimulus check would come to you as well from the Democrats. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, or veterans benefits. Next, the forced stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. The Democrats want the same stimulus check for everyone, so adult dependents, minor dependents, anyone across the board. And the Democrats represent that the forced stimulus check would go out in the month of July because it's a July check for July. It's not a waivable check. It has to come on a monthly basis, just like other provisions that the Democrats have envisioned before. The forced stimulus check would land in the month of July for the month of July, and the final vote would be in the month of July by those Democrats. And there you go. That is the first of 3 parts of the forced stimulus check updated 2021 in this broadcast. Coming up in the second part, we're going to go over what the Democrats did today, what the president did with them as well, and what happened yesterday and what will be happening tomorrow. It is just wonderful. But first, here's a preview of the second half of this video, which goes over fifth stimulus coming this fall from the Democrats. That fifth stimulus raises up your benefits across the board by applying a new benchmark, and that benchmark is inflation. And while Wall Street is relatively quiet this week because there's not a lot of economic data, the Federal Reserve is not releasing new data, and there's not a lot of corporate earnings, there is 2 major economic data coming out this week, and I'll have a preview of what you should anticipate. And the wonderful breaking news about something that was put into Democrat legislation by the president about fifth stimulus just yesterday. Wow, it is wonderful. But now let's turn to some big money. That big money is for you right now. Viewers have just been killing it, and you have just been doing such a wonderful job. If you've gotten the money, jump into the live chat or the comments and say what you got, because it inspires other viewers and it inspires me. What is that money? Let's go over it. It is rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, homeowners utilities, and more. Just to start, it's $350 billion of it, landing at your cities and counties and states. So get a pen and paper ready. I'm going to go over all the details of how you get this money. Stay with me to the very end because I got a lot of money for you in this evening's LA broadcast tonight. The first pot of money is rent. And you're going to see that I'm going to go over a series of locations to get the rent, but every location has different eligibility. So if you get a no answer, go to the next. They have different eligibility and different pots of money. First, that rent is about $5,000 for 4 to 6 months of rent. And where are you going to get it? Reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. And the key word you're going to use is rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance because of COVID. Remember, you're looking for rent, utilities, mortgage, and also homeowners utilities. Those are the key words to say. Don't say words they don't understand. So don't say stimulus. And don't say pineapple upside down cake. Let me say, sir, that sounds delicious, but we just don't serve that here. We serve rent. I said, don't say the wrong words. And there you go. Congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this money recently, and to all the other viewers who get it. And if you got it as well, drop in the comments. The next pot of the money is wonderful. It is SNAP. And on Monday Mornings LA live on air, one viewer in the comments said that she got $7,000 for her family. So congratulations. What is it? It's SNAP. Let's go over how much you can get, when you get it, and how you get it. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, for her son, and her mom, and Gail got it as well. Congratulations to them. This money comes from Department of Agriculture. So you reach out to Department of Agriculture. It is money for food. It is money to pay for your food. It's wonderful. And how much money is it? A family of 4 in Hawaii now gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Why so much money? Because of 2 executive orders, one from Biden and one from Trump, that raise up your benefits 15% between now and December. So go get it. There you go. $16,000 for SNAP for a family of 4 in Hawaii, and $5,000 approximately for rent. We're killing it, and we are only 10 minutes into this video, but I got more money for you, and it's starting right now. It's about $5,000 of money for you. that is coming back from the States. One viewer got $5,000. And what is it? Let's go over all the details. The federal government has identified states as overpaying your benefits during unemployment of the last year and then asking you to return it due to computer error. Not your fault, the computer's fault. Well, the federal government said, well, I don't care about your computer. Give the citizen back their money. It was their money to keep. Yes, the federal government has ordered the states to return the money back to you. So congratulations, you're getting that money back. One viewer got $5,000. How you get it? On the account that you have on file with your state. And then finally, when you get it, reach out to your respective state for routing times. Each state has different routing times. They'll have details about that when you call them up. Well, the next pot of the money is wonderful, and it's coming from IRS. IRS is returning those refunds now, finally, that you paid on that first $10,200 back to you on that 2020 return. Let's go over how, when, how you get it, and how you can track it. First, how much you're going to get. Let's go over the calculation. If, let's say, you had $9,000 of unemployment assistance last year, you paid $5,000 of total taxes on your 2020 return, of which $4,000 was your total taxes for unemployment assistance. Well, congratulations, you're getting back a check of $4,000 that you paid for that taxes on unemployment benefits. Next, how are you getting the check? If you put direct deposit on that tax return, then it's going that way. Otherwise, in the mail. Yeah, so be careful. Go slowly through the mail for the next few weeks because that envelope is razor thin. Finally, when in the month of June and how can you track it? Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password, and go in there, do a transcript search for your Social Security number. 70% of the time, it works. It will reveal when you file that 2020 tax return, the taxes you paid and the refund you're getting. And there you go. Wonderful money coming back to you. And can it get better? It does. As we turn now to the second half of our fourth stimulus check updated 2021 with a lot of wonderful major new news today. I'm going to start with that first right now. Number one, we got confirmation today and yesterday that House members are currently marking up the fourth stimulus check legislation. What is marking it up? It means that the subcommittees, which we talk about a lot on this channel, are currently drafting the language of the fourth stimulus package. It means it's not done. It means there's no complete whole yet, and it means it's still a process underway. Wonderful, wonderful news. Second, we also have confirmation that the White House is not adverse and does like the idea of stimulus checks. The question was specifically asked to the White House yesterday, and the White House says wasn't opposed to it. Now, this is sort of obvious because if Democrats from the House and Senate put stimulus checks in it, the president of the United States is not going to veto a bill because there's stimulus checks in there. That's absolutely out of the question. But the president said he likes the idea. Number three, the press, broadcast media, print press, journalism press, any press that does correct, accurate reporting has been reporting about these monthly stimulus checks now left and right. And they've specifically been citing a particular series of letters, which I'm about to go through. And they're specifically asking the president and his staffers about those letters. So now fourth stimulus is starting to become front page news because of your pushing, because of this channel's coverage, and away we go. And finally, the incredible news is that the reconciliation process is underway and will be done by July 4th. Now let's go over how we got to that point with the announcements from Leader Schumer the Friday before Memorial Day weekend. That Friday, Leader Schumer confirmed in breaking news not one but three of the stories I've been reporting on this channel for a while. Number one, that the reconciliation process had already begun. Number two, that the reconciliation process will be done in totality by around July 4th. And number three, the reconciliation process will not be held up by any potential negotiations by the president with other sides. As to those negotiations, there's an update about that as well today. The president has called off and ended negotiations, as has the other side, with Shelley Moore Capito, saying that the negotiations were kind but were unsuccessful. And while the president has heard about potential negotiations from Mitt Romney and others, they're not currently starting, and they're not holding up the reconciliation process. Number two, we also have confirmation today that the senators are completely aligned, not maligned, but completely aligned, the Democratic senators, to pass whatever the president wants in the forced stimulus. So while there may have been some wranglings on this last Sunday from Joe Manchin or some other senators, those have all settled down, and then there's confirmation that they have the support for the forced stimulus package. Now, let's go over how we got to that point from that announcement from Chuck Schumer. It came from Jalapa again. Jalapa had written Schumer a letter a few days earlier saying, call the vote on the reconciliation. Now, what's not important is so much the letter, because clearly we're now calling the vote, but who signed Jalapa's letter? 12 House Democrats that are among the same 100-plus House Democrats who had written the president a letter a week earlier saying, we're going to put monthly forced stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package. Oh my goodness, that is really good. Well, it gets better. Last Friday, right before Chuck Schumer made that announcement, that Friday before Memorial Day weekend, 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter. And that in that letter, those 7 House Democrats said, we're going to work with you to put multiple monthly fourth stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Well, who are those letters? Who are those people? And what does that mean? It's a euphemism because the president doesn't write the legislation. These 7 people do. And who are they? They are on the House subcommittee that is solely and exclusively responsible for writing your first stimulus check, for writing your second stimulus check, or for writing your third stimulus check. And they're now informing the president they're writing the fourth stimulus check. Oh my goodness, that is wonderful news. Can it get better than that? It does. For the first time on Evenings LALATE, you're going to hear 2 other major developing details about this letter. Number 1. Actually, 3 more details about this letter. Number 1, the president's staff was asked about this letter and said, yeah, we like it. I mean, we're not going to veto stimulus checks. I mean, it's sort of silly. I mean, it's sort of an oxymoron. Yeah, we like it. Number 2, this letter is now front page news on nearly every print journalism, broadcast news website that covers stimulus checks. To be very frank, the only place the letter is not is in very partisan Republican print press, because they don't want you to know about the stimulus checks. They don't want to attribute anything to being done by the Democrats. And number 3, we're now learning that this letter also includes a request, or at least an indication, that that same House subcommittee under 5th stimulus will put a 5th stimulus check in there as well. Oh my goodness, I even went out of focus for a second over that. That is huge. Oh my goodness. Can we get bigger than that? We can. I mean, it's just growing. It's just growing. It's like an avalanche. It's like a snowball. The president is now overseas. Why? To sign into law something for forced stimulus. What is he signing? A week ago, I had been telling you that the president did something on a Tuesday that was complicated. I had to slow it down. Well, that's the culmination of that part of my news coverage on this channel. Let me go back to what that Tuesday event was. Forced stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate from 21% to a higher rate. Now, the president had said from day one of forced stimulus, he was worried that by raising the corporate tax rate in the United States, that businesses in the United States may try to move operations overseas. Let's say New York, a business will say, I don't want a higher corporate tax rate, I'll move to France. So he was worried about losing corporations to overseas moves. And so he had met with global leaders that recent Tuesday ago and had gotten them to informally agree to raising the global corporate tax rate to 15%. That would discourage those businesses from leaving U.S. territories. Well, those countries agreed to it. That was good news to start, but it got better news later that day, that Tuesday. The president then told insiders that if that is the case, then after forced stimulus, the key word is after forced stimulus passed, he will go back to those G7 countries and get them to sign on the dotted line about that global minimum corporate tax rate of 15%. And if they do, then he would drop his U.S. corporate tax rate, because at that point, we would be a little too high. He would drop it closer to where it is right now and get stimulus checks. Now that's wonderful, which brings us up to last Friday, last Saturday, and tomorrow. Last Friday, I said, the president's meeting with the G7 country on Saturday. I don't know why. I said, stay tuned to Mornings LALATE tomorrow morning, because something's going to happen. And on Mornings LALATE, live on air, I told you, just at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which is, midday, noontime on Europe, that the president had gotten the G7 countries to formally agree to the global minimum corporate tax rate on a Saturday morning of 15%, and that they would be signing it into law tomorrow or this week in person as the president flies overseas to have them sign it. Oh my goodness. That was really fast. It was. We were expecting this to happen after forced stimulus. But how the president has come up with the idea to do it before forced stimulus so that it anchors it to the finish line. And as his first major travel internationally, it will be this to sign into law to anchor forced stimulus to the finish line. Wow, that is major. That is really major. It is. So there you go. That is your second part of a three-part update about forced stimulus. I know it took a little bit longer to go over, but coming up in the second half of this video, I got more about forced stimulus, my personal thoughts about forced stimulus, and a little bit about fifth stimulus, and also the breaking news about what's happening with forced stimulus. But first, here's a little bit about the community page and the volunteers who can help you get rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. Remember, the volunteers are in the description to this video. Open the description, go down, and you'll find a link to the community page. You'll see an emoji of a house, and then it'll say community page, news.la.com/community. Click the link, it'll send you over to the community page. And there you can reach out to the volunteers. They're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and they'll help you get that rent and utilities. If you can't get it, remember, that's how this channel works. Viewers helping others. Spear this channel. People helping each other get forward. And reach out to them. And I will be back in 60 seconds with more incredible details about fifth stimulus and your benefits and new surprises about fourth stimulus. Stay with me. I'll be right back. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LALATE with more incredible details about your fourth stimulus package, and your fifth stimulus, and incredible details about what else is also transpiring. You're going to be surprised with all the details tonight. What a night it is across the board. I am really excited for you, and I'm excited to be back. How are you? This is Evenings LALATE. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button right now. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next up, 1 million. 400,000 in 1 year. Also, like this video. 3,000 likes. Don't forget to like a video. As Norman said, I think it was on noontime, that he saw all these people in there, and he's like, wait, did you like the video? Thank you, Norman. Hit that like button and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Let's get right to fifth stimulus with a major surprising detail that no one saw coming for fifth stimulus. This one's a real surprise. I didn't not see this coming. So fifth stimulus heats up this fall with that raising up your benefits. I'm very excited for all the details. Let's go over how it works. First, they'll raise your benefits. Then they'll remove the asset limit, remove the added inflationary benchmark. Then they will apply a removal of the income exclusion and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over all that, the calculations and the breaking news behind that, and the other breaking news that you wanted to know this evening. First, let's go over how this works. First, they're going to raise up your benefits. Who's you? You. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, SSA, multiple beneficiaries, if you're on multiple benefits as well, they'll all be raised up to a big new number. Then they'll apply the benchmark. The benchmark is inflation. And while we can't figure out potentially where inflation may be, we certainly know what a benchmark is and how it works. Let me explain. A benchmark steps up your benefits if the number that they're using is more than zero. Well, inflation is certainly not zero this year. It's a positive number. So that means you step up. The benchmark steps you up. It never steps you down. At worst, it keeps you the same. Analysts this week are looking for a lot of economic data, but there's not a lot coming out this week. We have the CPI coming out later this week, and we have the new jobless claims tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, of course. So we'll be watching for those numbers, but they're not direct corollaries to inflation. But most analysts are putting the inflation rate about 2 to 7% at the moment. Let's choose 6% as an example. So they would raise your benefits up under fifth stimulus. Then they would apply a new benchmark. And that, let's say that benchmark 6%. So then they would step you up 6%. But not just for next year. Lifetime. Because what's important to know is that once they step you up, you never step down. So if the year after this, the inflation rate is 0%, then you're still at plus 6%. If the year after that, the inflation rate is 1%, then you're at plus 1, plus 6%. That's why having inflation as the highest number of a generation this December raises your benefits up an enormous amount lifetime. It's wonderful news. Now, the other thing you need to know about fifth stimulus is that there's a lot of other things in fifth stimulus besides that. Another 30-minute video that's currently 26 minutes. I never have enough time to go over everything that's in fifth stimulus, fourth stimulus, or third stimulus. And yet, it's your money. Third stimulus has a lot of other money for you that I don't have time to go over. A lot of it's application-based, so you need to know the money that you're entitled to. Fifth stimulus has money for seniors. Fifth stimulus has money for single individuals, has money for single hazard pay. So you need to know the money you're entitled to. Consider becoming a member. The link is at the top of the channel, the pinned comment. As members, I send out to you daily a breakdown of what's in the third, fourth, and fifth stimulus. I send it out to you daily via the community page of YouTube. So if you had to set up to go to your email box, it goes right to your inbox daily. You'll see what's in the third, fourth, and fifth stimulus, so you are fully up to date. All right, now let's turn back to fourth stimulus with two major things to end with. One, calling the vote, and finally, my perspective on where fourth stimulus is right now. First, calling the vote. It's important to understand what calling the vote means for fourth stimulus. There is 12 steps for the voting process, not one, and it does take a little bit of time. The first half are procedural, the second half are substantive. Let's go over them. It's important you know what they are. Step 1, the House calls a vote on the procedural bill. Step 2, the House floor calls a vote on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate calls a vote on the procedural bill. And step 4, the President signs the procedural bill. At that point, the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Time to go back and get the tow hitch, the substantive bill. Step 5, the House subcommittees work on the substantive bill. And as you saw earlier in this video, they are marking up the bill, which means actually writing provisions of the bill. It's at this point that they would put stimulus checks in there if they wanted to. Step 6, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. Step 7, Step 7 and Step 8, the Senate over a 2-day period has a vote-a-rama. That is a 2-day event in which the senators can amend by vote anything that they got from the House. So if the House did not put stimulus checks in there, the Senate can amend to add them. If this House did have stimulus checks in there, the Senate can amend to raise them, make them more. Or the Senate can just leave them alone. And then step 9, the president signs it into law. And there you go. That is the 9 steps of the 9-step vote, calling the vote that is currently underway. I'm really excited for you. Finally, a personal message about what else you need to know about fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus is now going front page, and it's really good for you. But it's really important that you take these videos and share them and post them on social media, Facebook and Instagram, because you have to push. I've seen some wonderful, nice comments in the last 24 hours, but I see a lot of people saying, I just hope. I just hope. Don't just hope, you gotta push. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. Take these videos and tag the elected officials on social media, the Democrats who are writing the legislation, because you need to push. You have to also remember the history of legislators. They pass laws and then the money is not sent out. They draft bills and they never call them for a vote. They propose to draft bills and then they never draft them. And then they propose to draft something and then they never draft it. So it's important to understand that even if something's in a bill, even if it's called for a vote, you need to ensure that they get it to that point. More importantly, they're currently in the drafting stage of the forced stimulus at the House level. So this is the time to push, not after they call the vote. You want to push while they're drafting the bill. Finally, an important message to know is that finally, the White House, print media, broadcast media are all talking about forced stimulus. They're all talking about the same letters. They're all talking about the monthly stimulus check. They're all talking about the subcommittee. They're all talking about the request to put the stimulus checks in there. And they're all talking about that obviously the president would never take that out. It's important to understand that when you're talking about forced stimulus is like a vase, the vase has not been blown yet. The glass has not been blown. They're trying to start to blow the glass now. So if anyone walks up to you and says they've looked in the vase and the stimulus check is not in there, say to them, the vase has not been blown yet. The vase has not been blown yet. And ironically, as we sit here in June, the final 48 hours is perhaps the most critical dates of this entire process, because down to that final 48 hours, when the senators get the vase, they can modify the vase, paint it a whole different color, enlarge the vase, put it back into the glass blower, and make it double the size. That's the ability of a votorama. And so you need to push, you need to be informed, and you need to be educated. And finally, forced stimulus is front page news, but keep on pushing. I'm next back with you of Evening's Crypto. Either this video will automatically send you to Overnight's Crypto automatically, or if it doesn't, then watch for Overnight's Crypto starting shortly after this broadcast ends. Then after that is Evening's Crypto taped at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, followed by Overnight's LA's Pro shows tonight. As with that, don't miss a single minute. Subscribe. When you subscribe, you don't miss any of the programming of this channel. You get a specific alert sent only to subscribers. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, always stay positive, and stay with LA for more.